Hi, welcome to our channel. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Hugo.
We're sell quick, ship quick, part-time resellers.
Full-time hustlers.
And it is February 3rd. But today we wanted to do a recap of our first month in 2020.
Yeah, normally we like to do our what's sold, and we normally do those on Monday, but I think a recap of the full month be really good, both for us and for you guys to see what's going on.
So we wanted to share with you our total sales across all the platforms where we diversify. And then some of the highs and lows across all the platforms where we diversify. And yeah,
and at the end we'll finish up with some what we pretty much picked up from this month, things we want to change up for upcoming month. But let's get started with how much did we total in the month of January.
Okay, so 2020 January, total sales across every platform that we list on.
And the cats go crazy, obviously, because the camera turned on.
So it is $8,063.97.
And that's a combination of sales. That's not net profit, that is total sales.
So that does not include our fees, our cost of goods. What else is there? Fees, cost of goods, shipping.
Yeah.
So on eBay, we did increase our sales from 2019 by almost $2,000. So January, eBay, store number 1, $5,024.70.
Yeah, and then on Poshmark, so Poshmark, looking back at Poshmark from last year, consistent. So in other words, we're making about the same. And this last month in January, we made $943.80.
Mercari remained consistent from last year, and it's sitting at $595 for the month.
Yep, and then on Amazon, we did in sales $1,228.51.
Okay, and then we have not brought this up, but we actually do have a second store for eBay. We don't normally share our sales from this store. This is our baby store where we are putting some retail arbitrage items, some replenishables, some things that we're testing out. Kind of like
it's similar to like not sharing Amazon bolos at the same time. You know, it's just there's some things that we got to take care of for ourselves and other people that are in the same market.
Yeah. So on that second store, which is tiny,
it's a baby store.
We did make $271.96 in that store.
Yeah. So all that together is what brings us to that grand total of $8,063.97 for the month.
So I did not do a full breakdown of this yet.
Yeah. We could try to do a video on that later, but that does take more time. There's a lot of fees that we got to take in consideration.
But if you're ever interested in seeing what the breakdown kind of looks like, you can drop a comment below, and hopefully we can get to a video like that soon. Okay, so some of our boo-boos.
Yeah, boo-boos. I mean, it's not even our fault in these cases, but we've talked about it in the past, and we'll have another nice big recap on returns. But this last month?
11 returns for the month of January. We had 9 that claimed did not fit, and all our items do include measurements. We include the measurements because we don't want to have to measure something after the fact.
Yeah.
It is solely up to you. If you want to add measurements, you can add them. If it's easy for you to get to your item after you've put it away,
and then you come in per request to do measurements, that's fine too.
I just prefer to do the measurements and include them at the time of listing because I don't want to have to go in to find the item and figure out the measurements and have to touch the item a second time. Even with the measurements, we still got 9 doesn't fit for returns.
Yep.
we got a one didn't match descriptions, and that was our fault. I think I missed, there was like, it was a Marc Jacobs dress, and it was like a satin material, and the seams were kind of pulling apart in the armpit, and I completely missed it.
Yeah.
So we apologized to the buyer. We told them to just keep the dress. They didn't follow that direction.
No, because even though we said keep the dress, here's your refund, don't worry about it, randomly we
showed up.
Got the dress back.
Yeah, so that's going to donation. And then we had one that was a weird one.
A weird one. So as a seller, I mean, hopefully you haven't, but it does happen where you'll mix up your labels. You accidentally send out the wrong item. Well, in this case, we had a buyer who opened up a return for did not fit. That's great, that's fine. Sent it in, and we didn't get the dress that we were supposed to get. Instead, we got
a gold ring with little tiny diamonds in it. And when I looked up, it came in the box. It came in like new. Full packaging. I Googled it, and it was from an Etsy store, I think.
I'm not sure yet.
I think it was an Etsy store. It was a really nice gold band. I found the exact ring, and it went for like $300.
Yeah, well, they had different versions of Pimp, but I mean,
no, that ring went for about $300.
Well, there you go. Yeah, $300.
The dress that she was returning was $60.
Yeah, but we made sure to contact eBay, let them know the situation. They let us know we should contact the buyer and negotiate it, figure out what to do. And, I mean, do your best to open communication with your buyers. Because in our case, this buyer was also a seller on their own. So they're like, you know what, we'll work together. Let's cancel the whole return. They're going to be responsible for reselling the dress on their end. And we send them back their ring.
So all in all, we kept our funds. The return was canceled. We shipped the ring back. Our buyer received their $300 ring. And our consciences were clear.
Yeah. Nice and easy. I mean, we don't sell jewelry, so not looking to try to sell a ring.
Okay, so we did have some really good sales on each of the platforms. Our main three, eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. Alright, so on eBay, if you follow our What Sold, I think we talked about all three of these, maybe not the last one. The Nana Doc Martens, worth mentioning again. These sold for $344.67.
That's all in with shipping.
Yes, plus shipping. And then next up we have this.
Oh, we got the Patagonia Gore-Tex 2XL snowboarding pants. And that one sold for a grand total of $110.50.
And then our next one is J. Crew. This was a wool blend, and it was the Lady Day coat. It was a long coat in pink, size 4P, and this sold for a total of $100.50.
Yeah, we've said it before with your J. Crews, always look them up. They're on not all $100. And then now those are our top three for the month. Now
we have our bottom three. So the first one is this Torrid Insider. Our cat's in the Ikea bag.
Which we have plenty of.
So the Torrid Insider Desert Escape tank top. This sold for $12.48 plus shipping. I mean with shipping. This was a bins find. That is Ginger.
Ginger. Thank you.
So we did make some profit. Not the greatest, but at the bins, I found Torrid. I picked it up.
Give it a shot. Our animals are crazy.
Next, we have a
Barefoot in Paradise 3XLT Hawaiian button-up, and it sold for a grand total of $13.97. Not big bucks.
And that one we had for a long time, so I was okay letting it go. And finally, we have the Pixel Pals Sonic.
Well, it's
no, not Sonic.
No,
because
Tomb Raider is the one that sold.
This was a
variable.
Yes.
It was a variable listing, so I had all of them. So the title actually says all the characters, but you'll see the one that actually sold, I believe it was Tomb Raider, but sold for a grand total of $13.99.
And for Poshmark, our top 3 on Poshmark. So our number 1 is actually Doc Martens as well, but this one is more what you typically see.
Well, even then, these are actually more work boots.
Oh, so these are the industrial steel toe work boots, and these were a small, like I think size 6 for women's. They were $112 on Poshmark.
Yeah, we sat on them for a little bit, but that's a good sale. And then our second for Poshmark is the Valentino lace sleeveless dress, and that one sold for $100. That was a nice sale. That was a recent sale too.
And then finally we have the original car shoe by Prada. That one sold for $55. We did sit on that one probably 8 to 9 months, I think. That was the first time finding something that said Prada, because it wasn't like Prada.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. So I'm happy it sold. All right, so bottom 3 on Poshmark.
Yeah, so bottom 3 on Poshmark. The first one would be this is the Neff Disney collab Mickey Mouse hat. It's a snapback hat, and that one sold for $17.
All right, and that one is probably over a year old. We picked up a bunch of them during RA for Amazon and eBay during that season over a year ago. We probably had around 10 hats. This is some of the leftovers that... Yeah. And Neff was doing really well over a year ago, and then it kind of died down.
Yeah, from socks to hats, and yeah.
All right, next up we have the Patagonia striped board shorts for men. This one sold for $16.
Yeah, basic board shorts. And then the last, or lowest here for the month, is the REI hiking pants. And these sold for a whopping $12.
All right, so moving on to Mercari, our top 3. We have, if you follow us on Instagram, I had put this in our stories a while back when I was at the bins with our friends, Denali and Ty and Laura. Well, I picked up a Rouge. I like
Rouge.
But this brand, big label, never seen it before. It said made in France or made in Paris, which is why I picked it up. This was the Paul cardigan sweater. This was a little on the faded side, and it was a really tiny size sweater. Some of their other designs go for over $100. This one we took an offer at $59.
Yeah, and right around that time, I think on all platforms, that item that was getting attention.
Yeah.
Then the second up in Mercari for top ones is this Lululemon defined jacket with thumb holes. Sold for $60. We've talked about in the past, athletic wear does do fairly well on Mercari for us.
Yeah, and this was an overnight sale, and that's something that we do see often when we list Victoria's Secret leggings. Those tend to do very well in Mercari and quickly. Good return plus a quick turnaround. Next up we have Miss Me jeans, which we actually sold I think 3 pairs on Mercari.
Yeah,
in the past month.
Yeah.
These were the Miss Me mid-rise easy boot jeans. This one is a size 36, and these were new with tags. We sold them for $60. And on Mercari, we do offer free shipping for everything. So when we get offers, we normally will counter and respond with cost of shipping is included if the buyer would be willing to meet us in the middle.
And we always have to note that depends always on what time we get this offer. We'll make sure to ship it next day. Now bottom 3 for Mercari. The first one would be this We the Free cow neck tank top. That's an extra small, and it sold for $21. Free ship.
And he found that one. Next up we have the Office extra large t-shirt. This was a Hot Topic shirt with Michael Scott on the front. This was new with tags, and we sold it for $20.
Yeah. And then the last one is this Marika Performance dry wick pants. They were new and sold for $23.
Yep. Alright. So what we found, which besides what we just showed, which shows that Poshmark between all three, oh no, not between all three, eBay had the lowest of our bottom.
Yeah.
And then Poshmark.
Yeah, and the lowest of our bottom because I think
those were auctions.
Exactly, they were auctions. And if they weren't 99-cent auctions, but we do have them set at the lowest we'd be willing to take.
Yeah.
What we did learn is consistency. I mean, the beginning of the month, we're coming off of the holidays, Q4, and at the same time, Tiff was killing it, reorganizing our inventory system, which is great, but with it, listings weren't really happening between us. She wasn't really doing new listings, but we had a lot of items up. So the number of listings didn't really matter because we weren't putting up new listings. But then as soon as she got on there to start listing.
So our main thing is we want to improve staying consistent with our listings, and our goal for staying consistent, that is a feasible listing goal, is 10 new listings a day. And we also want to relist stale items across all three platforms. I currently do it for eBay, but I think relisting on Poshmark and Mercari, your oldest items, will help in terms of bringing them back up on the search. I know for Mercari is really based off of new listings. So if you have a listing that's been sitting there for a really long time, the relevance is like at the way bottom, if you can even find it anymore.
Yeah.
If you put up a Free People top and 20 other people put it up, well, you're at the very bottom. So my goal is to go in and relist stale items and just
bring it back up to the top
something
of the list.
Consistent. Yeah, not anything crazy, maybe 3 to 5 items a day. And what I'll probably do is screenshot, so that I don't have to take new pictures. I'll probably just screenshot whatever's on my screen and then do a new listing off of that.
Yeah, and the other thing we want to keep doing, because we showed it worked for us, sending out offers, and that's on all platforms. And again, by all platforms, really talking about those three. So let's send offers to watchers on eBay, offers to likers on Poshmark, and then on Mercari, it's considered private promotions. Yeah, like promote to private likers or whatever.
All right, and then we also want to improve staying on top of messages with buyers when asking about an item. We're usually really good on eBay when we get a message. However, we do find that we miss a lot of the messages on Poshmark. They're not popping up on our screen.
Or we get flooded with so many notifications that we miss it too.
So we want to get better about that. We do notice that on Poshmark, we do get a lot more questions like, are these stretchy? Questions about measurements,
or
modeling.
Estimated sizes, like, oh, I'm like a 6 sometimes, but sometimes I'm this. Do you think it'll fit? But
then we want to actually respond to those.
Even if our answer to that tends to be, you know what, our best suggestion is check out the measurements that are in our listing and compare to your own clothing.
Yes. Yeah, so how was your January?
Yeah.
And what areas do you want to improve for this next month?
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Like, what did you learn from your own sales this last month?
Yeah.
We're always interested. We're learning from everyone, so we appreciate hearing from you guys too. And with that, so thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe and the bell and the thumbs up. We appreciate you watching us, and we enjoy getting feedback from you. So
yeah. And with that, bye-bye.